Welcome to the Create with Katrina Julia show by Fit Life Creation, where we talk all the things on wellness, faith, marketing, business, and travel to create a life and business you love. I've been there, friend. I've walked from fear to faith, self-hate to love, corporate to calling, and bondage to freedom, along with transformation in every area of my life. I'm right here with you, walking along on my own path to creating. So tune in so that you learn how to create a life and business you love, hands-on. Let's create it. Welcome to my Creator Confessions for July. Get ready because this one is so good. And as always, make sure you go on over to the bit.ly in the show notes, bit.ly/create it like a boss, so that you subscribe, so that you get the email, so that you can glance over it too. At the same time, I give a lot more in the show because the way that I do this is I always simply do the email as a framework, and then I really get authentic, transparent, and vulnerable with you on the show, because sometimes it's a lot easier to write, but sometimes it's a lot easier to talk about it. So if this is your first time tuning in with me, I share monthly creator confessions along with different types of themes to create it like a boss, from faith to wellness to wealth to marketing to business to travel and communities. And I share real talk on this series that's published every single month since January of 2023, in case you want to go back, and the behind the scenes of being a creator and a CEO. So, how do you feel about July and 2023 so far? If you haven't yet, you will absolutely love to listen to It's Halftime, the episode right before this one. July started off juicy and the joy continued. I felt like so much got unleashed and unraveled from June. At the same time, I am a human being and I believe in 100% responsibility. And I recognize that I have an opportunity to be both compassionate with myself and my circumstances and review choices I won't repeat anymore, and the chance to level up my discipline, because the limits we place on ourselves are just that. They are invisible limits that we have somehow believed or started to believe as truth, or believed as truth from the influence of culture, of family, of upbringing, or from past circumstances or past things that have happened. And we get a choice to break through those invisible limitations. At the same time, we get to choose to be compassionate with ourselves and recognize where maybe we have been fighting with ourselves, or that we didn't believe or don't believe we are worthy. I talked a lot about that in the last episode. I participated in a 21-day financial fast in July via Epic Fab Girl. Shout out to Candace Janae. I spent more time with friends, increased workouts reaching near 15,000 on Peloton, increasing in-person workouts, witnessed firsthand a beautiful family dynamic as I got to spend a week with a great friend of mine, Silvana, when her family came back from Bolivia after I watched their house and house sat for 2 months. Once my lease ended in Atlanta, instead of going to Ecuador and traveling versus helping them out and spending time with amazing puppies, 2 amazing puppies. Well, they're 4 years old, but they're tiny like puppies. And I left the USA to travel to Playa del Carmen to be a digital nomad for a while. Living wise, I'm using Airbnbs, focusing on partnering with real estate, hotels, and Airbnbs. And later, when I am back in the USA, via Hello Landing. If you subscribe to my newsletter, if you already did, in the link, you will find my Hello Landing referral code in case you want to check it out and get, I think, like $200 off or whatnot too. I decided I would not do a winter again without out sunshine. Not for a long period of time. It's not to say I won't maybe again periodically or sporadically, but not for like last year. November, December, just being fully transparent and honest, November and December and January hit me really hard being in Atlanta and then having so much gray and rain. And yes, I'm a big believer of not letting your circumstances bring you down. But at the same time, when every single day I had gray, 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 rain, 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 it was really, really, really hard in the midst of also navigating perimenopause. Definitely check that out on the blog and show on It's Getting Hot in Here. So what I recognized in July was a couple things. Since about November of last year, and being back in Atlanta, and then the weather and circumstances and my hormones, and then also feeling like so many things were happening spiritually. You can definitely check out some of my episodes on faith and being a warrior woman of faith and how so many things happen in the unseen realm. I recognize where I had, in a sense, downshifted or decreased my faith because certain things weren't happening in the timeframes I thought. Whether it's love, whether it's different, income levels, whether it's different levels within Herbalife, whether it's community, whether it's like-minded community. And I had allowed myself, in a sense, to be discouraged, defeated. Again, I'm human. And all of those things were creating sort of a perfect storm. And I was recognizing in July that I didn't want to create the same set of circumstances. And I recognize where, okay, I don't want to spend a winter here. I am intentionally focusing on community. At the same time, circumstances and finances and getting help from family. And yes, having paid off quite a bit in debt this year, but still having things happening. On top of that, yes, having 10x income in January, February, and March this year. But then, like I talked a lot about on the last episode, experiencing some repeat behaviors. And what I wanted to address specifically along the lines of 100% responsibility is I made the choice to not go to extravaganza this year with Herbalife. And I avidly wanted to go and battled. I don't even know if battling is the right word. I prayed about it. I flowed with it. I really, really dug deep. And it was really like shifting between, am I still fully committed to being and becoming, active world supervisor, world team, active world team, president's team, mill team, president's team, founder circle, and all the levels that are within that? Yes. At the same time, what I recognize is in reviewing my worthiness and in reviewing finances and in reviewing the fight that I've had with finances and circumstances for so long, I was really evaluating both the spiritual and the practical in my prayers and in evaluating the circumstances. And if I was to go, I kept taking steps to have the faith, to keep putting forth action in every single level, to have the income and finances to go. At the same time, when, and I was open to it, I had a plane ticket. I had already had the plane ticket. And I was like, okay, God, like if this is your will, it's your bill. Like I'm taking the actions with, working with brands. I'm taking the actions with speaker proposals and workshops, integrating wellness and hands-on activities and money and business and travel. I'm taking the actions on social media. At the same time, if I make this decision at this very second to go to this event, then I will be increasing debt and or borrowing money from family. And this is going to ripple effect. And then also navigating and balancing that and honoring my parents. And also knowing, yes, so much happens at events and the unseen realm. And if you guys have tuned in for a while, I am a avid person that goes to events in real life. Pre-pandemic, I went to every single Herbalife event, extravaganza, success training seminar, so many other events, whether it was, faith-based events at church, other business events. I've gone to other, events with Danny Johnson, strategic coach. So that has been my consistent theme of investing in myself, getting my MBA, getting my CPA, and pouring in so much investment in myself. But at the same time, as I was navigating and walking through this worthiness journey, one of the things that the author really challenged us on was, what do we do that really sometimes hurts us because we keep fighting the opposite? And Garen Jones, one of my mentors within Herbalife, would say in the past of, if you've done one thing a certain way over and over and over again, maybe sometimes it's time to do the polar opposite, even though it looks completely crazy and feels completely crazy. So me, for years, since I was in middle school or elementary, would have forced to go to the event, would have forced to make it happen, and that goes to many areas of my life. And more and more and more, I'm focusing on being and receiving. And so I really felt in my spirit was, okay, set the intention that you're going to, you're open. If it's God's will, it's God's will. And or you're open to having it happen. You're taking all the aligned action and steps. And then something super weird happened with the ticket, also with Frontier, where then if I would have kept the ticket, I would have then had to pay another $100 just for the carry-on. So part of me was like, is this resistance to where I need this event and it's happening? And or is this a decision for me to do the polar opposite, to receive? Because part of me in the journey of receiving and being was also in the last 2 months of living rent free. So this was some of what I was navigating and giving myself the compassion and the mercy and the grace and being open. So several steps led to where I let the ticket go, because then I ended up getting it back from a firm and different things. And could I have gotten the ticket via the Herbalife Extravaganza ticket sooner, back in February? Absolutely. But I thought, oh, I'm doing so great with income this year. So many things are happening. I can wait till March or April. Okay. So that's a lesson learned. I am not waiting for Minneapolis, Minnesota. As soon as the tickets drop, I am getting them again. And I'm resetting the intention of being a first time member. Then I could have done the ticket on Affirm or Klarna or something else out of faith and the Airbnb. But then when I was looking at the exact day and the circumstances, that would have impacted my next months of living in Playa del Carmen and the current cash flow and what I have. So I made the decision with all that in mind to not go, but at the same time, to absorb and intentionally do, and have as if I would have gone, and put into practice all the lessons I have learned from all the past extravaganzas, as well as what I observed and absorbed off social media this year, and to basically go full force in every area of my life, and to not make the choice ever again to not go. And part of what I feel like also impacted, I think, me and also others, because I'm sure I'm not the only one in this boat. So whether it's Herbalife Extravaganza or another event you chose to not go to this year because of your circumstances or whatever the case is, I want to invite you to also give yourself compassion and mercy and grace and love, because other people are in the boat with you. And also, you are going to be so relatable to others that have faced these kinds of circumstances or decisions and forgiveness, or people that do this or that choose to do this. And now you're able to hold the space from a space of, okay, I did that too. And you know what? Forgive yourself, learn from it, and move on and be and do better next time for the next moment. And part of what shifted me also, I felt like, was, the pandemic, because the events were virtual 2020, which I attended avidly, the 2020 virtual extravaganza and the 2021 virtual extravaganza as I was traveling. And then I felt like, last year when I came back to Atlanta, it was like everything accelerated with the cost of expenses and everything. And again, it was piss poor planning and timing on my part, as well as not playing full out. Not playing full out, letting the circumstances and everything defeat me, or letting responses or lack thereof or rejection defeat me, or not getting traction like what I imagine defeat me. and falling back. And I started shifting and making the decision with divine discipline as my phrase this year in June and July. Like, you know what? I am going to get these hormones under control. They are, thank God. I am going to increase my divine discipline. I've given myself so much grace. I've increased prayers and fasting and EFT and therapy. And now I get to accelerate the action. And there is so much happening, you guys, just by being in the vibe of sunshine and beach and making those decisions and radically increasing my discipline and pushing past limitations so much that started kind of the snowball effect in July, but now is radically accelerating in August. I think that's what I'm calling August, like accelerated August or August accelerated, because I am seeing, feeling, and receiving it from every single direction. So in July, I was focusing on, with all that in mind, fractional CMO, influencer management, and content done for you on the business to business side. On the community side, leaps of faith with courses and social media and retreats. I continued business to business proposals and investor opportunities to the tune of about 1.5 million in the pipeline in July alone. So I may fall down, but I get up. So even in spite of all of that I just shared on the event side, you can see that I was still July was still bringing me so many breakthroughs and so many shifts and shifting the shit, like I talked about in the last episode, and so much joy. And, along those lines. So I completed the 21-day fast I mentioned. I increased the alignment with my morning and night routines. I invested in a 1-day planner sheet on Amazon that's tied to Herbalife, and I love it because at a glance, it says, today is going to be the best day ever. Barbie, anyone? And then it has a life circle to focus on, the different quadrants of life. Then it has any appointments. Then it has a meal planner at a glance: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. And then it says, today I'm grateful for my to-do list, and then urgent and important, or urgent but not important, any notes, and then one thing I learned today, and then my water intake, which today has been bomb. I already drank, I think, over like 7 glasses. And then my greens intake, which also has been bomb because I have super greens as well. So physically in July, I reached near 15,000 minutes of workouts. I track them on Peloton, whether I do the workouts on Peloton myself or I design them myself. Speaking of which, make sure you go to my YouTube channel at Limitless Global Girl. Today, August 5th, I just dropped an amazing Barbie workout, also with 3 songs of the soundtrack, and I have a giveaway tied to it. So you definitely want to check that out. In July, I walked much more, especially watching one of my good friend's dogs the last 2 months. That trend of walking even more, being here in Playa del Carmen, is definitely holding up. Then I also increased in-person workouts at the Y with weights and Zumba, and I maintained daily aligned action using Herbalife nutrition with shakes, with the Herbalife 24 line, with protein coffee, beverage mix, and the tabs and tea, and I increased sauna time as well. Side note, if you want to check out, if you haven't yet, definitely check out my 75 plus tips, tools, and tech in the link in bio, including faith, wellness, wealth, marketing, business, travel, and communities. And definitely check out Create It Monthly. And Create It Monthly includes a transformation toolkit that is bomb with wealth, wellness, and biz. Financially, I increased discipline in July, looking at expenses while increasing impact and influence in income, no matter the challenging circumstances. I increased impact and influence with business to consumer with the proposals, investors, and launches like I talked about. I updated my e-speakers profile as a public speaker and got listed on 5+ platforms. So I'm definitely excited about that because as a speaker, I have been speaking in person literally since middle school or high school, and then became a national speaker with the AICPA years ago, been a keynote speaker with Fitness MBA, And then this past month, I spoke on Pitch Perfect at the Bakery Cowork, an incredible pink, blue, pastel cowork space in Atlanta. Shout out to Miss Skittles. Definitely check her out on Instagram at the Bakery Cowork. I talked about them on a couple of recent podcast episodes, like Multi Passionate Entrepreneurs and then 7 Ways Multi Passionate Entrepreneurs Make Money. And I talked all about funding and different resources with investors in person in real life. My business to consumer blogs increased to over 6, especially with the help of AI and Chat GPT. If you haven't yet, definitely check out not only this binge-worthy show, but all my binge-worthy blogs at fitlifecreation.com/blog. You can also find that in the bit.ly via the top 10 travel. That'll all lead you to the blog. And I was going to mention something on the blogs. It'll come back to me. My emails increased to 3+ weekly. Being a now B schooler with Marie Forleo, going through the 4th time, you pay once and then you get it free for life every time she launches. And I treat it every time as if I invested that time, as if I have just paid the $3,000. I take it super serious. And one of the things I got from B School earlier this year was to increase my emails and connections with the community. So I have definitely done that. That has definitely been showing up all year. And then I am going through B School again right now in the summer because she decided to, and her Marie Forleo and the team decided to drop it again fresh for the summer. And I am in week 1 right now, going through all the content, the fun sheets, sharing my comments, either showing up live when they do the live and or listening later. So I'm definitely engaged in that. My shows increased in July to 15. Social media increased 10x with over 25 reels on Instagram alone. This does not include my other social channels at Fit Life Creation, at Limitless Global Girl. I launched a brand new channel the end of July at Create It Today on Instagram. This does not include LinkedIn. This does not include resharing blog posts or all my YouTube videos. I dropped between repurposed YouTube shorts and new videos, over 30 videos on YouTube, and my YouTube is growing. I am almost at monetizing. So please, please, please go to my YouTube channel at Limitless Global Girl. Side note, I am kicking myself. Also, you guys, if you are even thinking about starting a YouTube channel, go start one. Like, I am kicking myself that I didn't radically focus on YouTube years ago. I was kind of focusing, kind of dabbling, kind of unsure on videos. I started to get better when I was traveling full time, but I am like, Katrina, if anything, that would have been a great starting point above everything else, because I think about Mr. Beast that's pulling in, you guys, $50+ million just from his YouTube video a year. Okay. I think about Vanessa Lau that's also probably pulling in now 20, at least 20 to 50, if not 100K a month, also on her YouTube channel. So that is what I'm realizing more and more and more as I have dived into all the different social media channels. As a creator platform, YouTube rewards its creators the best. I am actually part of the YouTube Shorts community now for 4 or 5 months. And I talked about earlier on the show and on my YouTube channel about how Google paid me along with YouTube to reshare my YouTube Shorts, and they didn't care that I wasn't monetizing yet. That's another example that YouTube stands apart versus Instagram. Yes, I connect and get reach and exposure and different things with Instagram. However, Instagram as a platform was paying its creators, and I was getting paid $100 to $200 a month, but they discontinued that as of now, at least for creators where I'm at in my current sphere. And then typically where I get, paid as far as with brands also is with fractional CMO or social media management or, content done for you or influencer marketing management, etc. So speaking of, definitely check those links out in the link in bio, especially if you want to take my marketing quiz on fractional CMO that's free, my influencer marketing like a boss series that's also free that you can dive in. Plus I have a book, a course, a collaboration platform, and influencer marketing management. So I also want to shout out Jasmine Starr and Katie and the entire social curator community For Dottie, she has been a boss in my journey as my AI social media manager and is really, really helping me accelerate in every way with social media. And I can't wait to start using her with brands. That's not all. It's about being a human being. So if you haven't yet, definitely check out my blog and show on multi-passionate entrepreneur strategies for success. And then mentally to playfully. I mentioned some of this, but some of this I did not. So I beyond all the other fun human being activities I mentioned earlier, I also went to my favorite coffee shop, the Chattahoochee River in Atlanta in July. I explored the co-working space, the bakery co-work. I was surrounded by Tucker and Cooper, the adorable dogs, all month and went on so many walks. I went out with friends, 2-3 times, especially when Silvana got back. We went to an amazing restaurant called Del Bar Atlanta. I immersed myself in learning and communities, including Epic Fab Girl, Social Curator, and B School. And I decreased any and all downtime in July. And I am feeling like August is accelerating from every single direction. And I am definitely decreasing any and all downtime and feeling super aligned. So, please, please, please leave a review on the show. Drop your Instagram handle so I can shout you out. Definitely check out all the ways you can create it like a boss in the link in the show notes, including monthly challenges and memberships, influencer marketing and management, marketing from A to Z, my global retreats, including fit and content cations. So let's create it. And as always, friends, remember, create, transform, and inspire because you are born to. I'm coming in hot with fit and contentcations and retreats, calling all my creators to CEOs, boss babes, and multi-passionate women entrepreneurs. If you are ready to experience the ultimate blend of a getaway or vacation with fitness, creativity, and relaxation, get ready because our Fitcations, contentcations, and retreats are here to take you on a transformational journey. We've got a Fitcation coming up September 10th through the 14th in Los Cabos. Join us for an adventure that combines fitness and a vacay like never before. From assessments to meal plans to chef experiences to workouts on the beach and by the pool and active adventures like our glass bottom boat kayaks. Our Fitcations will elevate your well-being and leave you feeling transformed like never before. If that's not enough, or maybe you're looking for more, we've got a contentcation on the heels of the Fitcation September 14th through the 17th in Los Cabos. If you are a content creator and you are looking to fuel your creativity, this is for you. Not only will you be at Instagrammable locations with mastermind workshops with AI, chat GPT, templates and content, creating Instagram reels, scheduling out 15, 30 plus days of content across and during the retreat, you will be blown away. And let's not forget where the retreat is in Los Cabos, with beachside experiences, adventures, city tours. Unleash your imagination, gain incredible perspectives, and take your content creation to new levels to create it like a boss. Last but not least, because maybe you want to spend a lot more time in Los Cabos, we've got a retreat August 31st through September 7th, right before the two Cations, where you can elevate your mind, spirit, body, and soul with our transformative retreat experiences. This retreat combines it all. It combines mindset, wellness, marketing, business, and travel along with the adventures. Our retreats provide space to relax, rejuvenate, and connect with incredible community. From empowering workshops to all inclusive experiences to immersive activities, you will embark on a journey of self discovery and transformation. Mention the podcast for 10% off when you complete the assessment at the link in bio and or fitlifecreation.com/retreats. And in the link in bio, you can find it via transformational retreats. And if you do any 2 of the experiences, you get $1,000 off, friends. Yes, $1,000 off. So let's create it on occasion. All the chats on faith, wellness, money, marketing, business, and travel, so you create a life and business you already. Head on over to the blog, the podcast, and the freebies to jumpstart your transformation. If you're ready to dive into the online courses, the live events, or the retreat, and if you want to create with our community on an even deeper level, definitely check out our internships, our influencer collaborations, management, and brand engagements. Let's create it.